Thousands of years ago, during the height of ancient Egypt's glory, Pharaoh Akhenaten built a mysterious temple deep within the desert. This was no ordinary temple of worship, but a place where the power of the gods was sealed. According to legend, the temple held a legendary treasure, but anyone who dared enter would face a terrifying curse, created to protect the pharaoh's secrets. Akhenaten, who was known for abandoning the traditional gods to worship the sun, god Aten, ordered the construction of this temple to ensure his power would never be forgotten. Centuries later, in the late 19th century, a group of British archaeologists led by Dr. Jonathan Hawkins set out on an extraordinary expedition to uncover this hidden temple. Jonathan was a renowned scholar who had spent his life studying ancient Egypt. In a fateful discovery, he came across an ancient hieroglyphic manuscript that hinted at the location of the forgotten temple. Enticed by the promise of an invaluable treasure and the secrets of Egypt's lost civilization, he decided to lead an expedition to explore the desolate desert. The journey began with excitement, but the expedition soon encountered the harsh reality of the desert, the scorching heat, relentless sandstorms, and freezing cold nights. Jonathan remained undeterred, convinced that they were close. The team trudged forward under the merciless sun, with endless sand dunes stretching into the horizon, but their spirits remained high with hope. One morning after weeks of wandering through the desert, Jonathan made an astonishing discovery. Ancient stone blocks peeking through the sand, part of a buried structure. The entire team rejoiced as they realized they had found traces of the temple. After excavating further, a colossal temple emerged, intricately carved into sandstone. Giant statues of Egyptian gods guarded the entrance, their eyes gleaming in the sunlight as if watching every move. But what truly amazed Jonathan was the massive sealed door. Carved on the surface were ancient symbols he had never encountered before. After hours of study, Jonathan deciphered the message. To open the temple door, 3 pieces of a sacred key, hidden throughout the temple, were needed. The symbols warned that anyone who opened the door would face the wrath of the gods. Unwilling to turn back after such a discovery, Jonathan and his team decided to enter the temple through a narrow passageway beside the main door. Inside the temple was a maze of long, twisting corridors. The walls were covered in depictions of ancient rituals, with statues of Egyptian gods like Horus, Anubis, and Osiris guarding the path. The atmosphere was dark and eerie, lit only by flickering oil lamps that cast strange shadows on the walls. As they ventured deeper, strange occurrences began. The wind howled through the halls like ghostly whispers from another world. The walls occasionally trembled, as though they were alive. A sense of dread hung over the group, but Jonathan pressed on with determination. In a vast chamber, Sarah, a member of the team, stumbled upon one of the key fragments. As soon as she picked it up, a deep roar echoed from the depths of the temple. Jonathan immediately realized they had awakened something dangerous. According to legend, a monstrous creature, guarded by the curse of Pharaoh Akhenaten, would awaken if anyone disturbed the temple. Thus began a race against time. The team had to find the other 2 pieces of the key before the creature fully emerged. They faced deadly traps, narrow corridors suddenly filled with sand, stone statues that moved when they weren't looking, and rooms filled with suffocating, toxic fumes. Tension mounted as members of the team were picked off one by one, falling to the traps or vanishing in the endless maze. Jonathan and Sarah, using their wits and bravery, eventually found the final piece of the key in a hidden chamber deep within the temple. But just as they assembled the key to unlock the door and escape, the monstrous creature appeared. It was a massive half-snake, half-human being with glowing red eyes and metallic scales, slithering out of the darkness. Its roar shook the temple as it approached. In the final showdown, Jonathan and Sarah faced an impossible decision: continue to seek the legendary treasure or flee from the curse. Jonathan, with a bold and selfless decision, chose to sacrifice the treasure. He threw the key toward the creature, and the temple's doors slammed shut, sealing the monster and the priceless treasure beneath the earth forever. The surviving archaeologists returned with a tale of the lost temple. Though they brought no material treasure, they had uncovered invaluable secrets of history. However, the mystery of Pharaoh Akhenaten's curse remained buried deep beneath the desert sands. never Although to be Jonathan and Sarah again. Had narrowly escaped the clutches of the monstrous creature within the temple, the mystery surrounding Pharaoh Akhenaten's hidden secrets still haunted them. The team returned to their camp, exhausted but grateful to be alive. As night fell, the desert air grew cold, and the wind howled as if carrying the whispers of long-forgotten souls. Jonathan couldn't shake the feeling that their journey wasn't truly over. Back at the camp, Sarah unearthed an old parchment she had found inside the temple, which she hadn't yet shared with the team. As she unfurled it by the firelight, her eyes widened in shock. The hieroglyphics told of something even more incredible than they had imagined. Not just a treasure, but a hidden chamber, one that held the key to immortality. It was said that this chamber was where Pharaoh Akhenaten had performed his most secret rituals, channeling the divine power of Aten to gain eternal life. But to access this chamber, a second key was needed, one even more elusive than the one they had found. When Sarah showed the parchment to Jonathan, he hesitated. They had barely escaped with their lives, and now the prospect of returning to the cursed temple filled him with dread. But the allure of unlocking the secret of immortality was too great to resist. Jonathan, driven by both curiosity and a desire for redemption, decided they would venture back into the temple, though this time with more caution and preparation. As dawn broke, the small team, now reduced to just Jonathan, Sarah, and two remaining archaeologists, gathered their tools and supplies. Their goal, find the second key and access the secret chamber where Akhenaten's true power lay. Armed with the knowledge from Sarah's parchment, they headed back toward the towering temple, determined to uncover its deepest secret. Upon re-entering the temple, a strange calmness filled the air, as if the temple itself was watching them. This time they knew exactly what they were looking for. Following the directions on the ancient scroll, they made their way deeper into the temple than they had ever gone before, navigating through uncharted corridors and avoiding deadly traps. The walls became increasingly covered in darker, more ominous carvings, scenes depicting not only the gods but also unknown rituals involving the dead, and shadows of terrifying creatures lurking behind them. Suddenly, they came upon a massive underground chamber, unlike any they had seen before. At the center stood a colossal statue of Akhenaten, arms raised to the heavens, eyes seemingly glowing in the flickering torchlight. Below the statue, a stone sarcophagus lay sealed. It was here, according to the parchment, that the second key would be hidden, but it would not be easy to retrieve. The sarcophagus was surrounded by a series of intricate puzzles carved into the floor. Jonathan quickly realized that they were more than just riddles. They were traps designed to test the intelligence and worthiness of those who sought the key. The puzzles required both ancient knowledge and keen perception, challenging the team's understanding of hieroglyphics, mathematics, and astrology. As the group worked tirelessly to solve them, the room grew colder, and the eerie feeling of being watched intensified. After what felt like hours of tense concentration, they successfully solved the final puzzle. The sarcophagus creaked open, revealing an ornate golden box containing the second key, a delicate, intricate artifact that gleamed in the firelight. But as Jonathan reached for it, the ground beneath them began to shake violently. Dust and debris fell from the ceiling, and the distant roar of the creature they had left behind echoed through the temple. The curse was far from over. The team knew they had little time to act. With the second key in hand, they raced back through the labyrinth of corridors toward the entrance. But the temple seemed to come alive around them as stone doors slammed shut, blocking their path, and statues moved to impede their escape. The monstrous creature from before had awakened once more, its wrath more terrible than ever. It slithered through the temple with terrifying speed, hunting them as they tried to flee. In a desperate attempt to save themselves, Jonathan and Sarah remembered the parchment's mention of a hidden door, a secret escape route that only those who held both keys could unlock. With the creature fast approaching, they frantically searched the walls of the temple, looking for any sign of the hidden passage. At the last moment, Jonathan spotted a series of hieroglyphics that matched the ones on the second key. He inserted the key into a stone slot, and a hidden door creaked open. The team rushed through the passage just as the monstrous creature appeared behind them, its hiss filling the air. As they squeezed through the door, it slammed shut, sealing the creature and the temple's cursed power behind it. Breathless and shaken, the team emerged from the secret tunnel into the desert night. The cool air hit their faces as they looked back at the temple, now a silent monolith standing against the starlit sky. They had escaped once again, but the knowledge they had gained left them with more questions than answers. Jonathan and Sarah knew that the true power of Pharaoh Akhenaten remained hidden, buried beneath the sands of time. The secret of immortality was not meant to be discovered, and the curse of the pharaoh would ensure it remained so. Though they had survived, they felt the weight of the ancient curse still lingering, a reminder that some mysteries were better left unsolved.